What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Across the Cowboys podcast. I am your host, Paul Ryan, and with me, as always, and making his return is Mike the Pig Crumb. Mike, how are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Apologize for last week. I was at Disney.
The happiest place on earth, my friend. Don't apologize.
Yeah, and don't be mad. I was not there for the game, so that game cannot be blamed on me. I
Were
was
you there
home.
during Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I was home for the game. I was not at Disneyland.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice way to end the trip, man.
Yeah, not bad. It was. Sorry. Oh man, sorry, man. It's a long week, but yeah, it's always fun going down there, especially with my crew that my regulars. That was nice to get back there with them, and that was like my birthday trip. My
Oh, yeah.
birthday my birthday was 3 weeks away, but it was that month, so I can't go on my birthday because that's the only time my pass is blocked is
Yeah.
that week. Happy Monday.
Are you one of those people? You know, those people that celebrate their birthday month. Those are always annoying in high
No,
school and
no,
high
I don't even
school.
celebrate my birthday. The only thing that I say about celebrating my birthday is if I go to Disneyland in December, I get the little button. I don't know if I have it right here. No, I don't have it. It's over there on my safe. But I get the little button that says happy birthday, and then I pin it on a little thing that I have that has all the years that I went, And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's fun. If I had all of them though, I'd say I've gone probably at least 30 of my 40 plus birthdays that month. I've been at Disneyland, minimum 30,
That's
probably 35 ish.
Man, does Disney like give you a birthday gift or anything?
No, no, they give you the button and they'll say happy birthday and everything. You know what? When they used to have the tortilla shop next to the bread tour, where they make their bread, they had a thing where they made tortillas and you'd get a full pack of tortillas for your birthday. That was
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd
Is it
roll
like
that
a
shit.
Mickey Mouse tortilla, just a regular?
Just a regular tortilla because they made them right there for the park,
Yeah.
for all the different spots. Now they only have the bread tour, which is cool. I mean, their bread's great, but it's not the same as a warm, like just off the press, just made tortilla. And they would give you one when you walked in. I'd walk through that thing like 10 times all fat.
Dude, there's a place called Uncle Julio's. I don't know if you have them in California, but like they by the entrance when you're waiting for your table, they have this maker who's making and rolling like fresh tortillas, and then you can just grab one fresh off the press, like you said, dude. Nothing beats a fresh flour tortilla, bro, especially with some butter, dude.
Agreed. So good.
So good. Well, before we go off into a food tangent, some like old times, Mike, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Unfortunately, Brendan could not be here tonight, but make sure to follow him on Twitter at Brendan_Smith26. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. You know, Mike, in their biggest game of the season, in true Cowboys fashion, they failed yet again, losing to the Detroit Lions 44-30 on Thursday night and essentially ending their season and playoff hopes. You know, I thought this Cowboys team was different, but was wrong yet again. Mike, what bothers you most about this loss?
How consistent it is with big losses in the Dak Prescott era. Like I feel like Garrett, McCarthy, and Schottenheimer, it's always way too conservative on the road early. Defense is bad. The offense gets down 3 scores and then they let Dak open it up and he starts to, make a run and bring it back into it, but the defense can't get that one or two big stops they need.
Oh,
There'll be a turnover or two or a bad penalty that stops the offense on a big drive or two. And they just like do enough to where it's like, damn, you're like right one stop or one like less mistake, but it's always feels the same. Like this felt exactly like the Green Bay playoff game. They came a little bit more back, which is probably a credit to Brian Schottenheimer's offense. Once they open it up, it's a better offense than McCarthy and Garrett was, but they couldn't come all the way back, unfortunately, in a road game.
yeah, because I remember, I'm sitting there watching the first half and I'm like, early in the first half. I'm like, this thing is over. Just looking at how the offense was playing, and then I remember I missed a I want to say an Aubrey or no, I missed a touchdown, and I saw an Aubrey field goal. I'm like, okay, it's only like a 9 point game, and then it gets to a 3 point game, and I'm like, okay, and now we're doing something. And then of course it's the defense is so gassed, dude, and Detroit just the run game we couldn't do anything.
And the special teams. That was the difference. The difference this year than in the McCarthy era is that their special teams is way like Fossil rarely gave up a big return. And just it seemed like every kickoff was at the 40, 50-yard line return-wise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This new special teams coach is not hacking it the way Fossil was before. I'm glancing over at the Eagles Chargers are on, so I got to kind of
train wreck of a game.
Looking over there.
Yeah, what's the score? 10-7 still, or whatever it is.
10-6. The Chargers have the ball about midfield. They had a big kickoff return.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, man, because Tom Kennedy, dude, it seemed like he was getting 30, 40-yard returns every single time, man. It was like, who the hell is this guy?
And our defense, if you give the offensive ball at midfield, you're giving up a touchdown almost 90% of the time. Our Eberflus is bend but don't break, but they break a lot. But especially in that scenario, they're going to break. If they only have to go 60 yards or less, they're going to break.
Yeah, I would say, what disappointed me most, and I mentioned that I thought this Cowboys team might be different, is just not looking prepared again in a big game, man. Being too conservative, then just stupid penalties and defense not making any stops. But yeah, I just really didn't think that we were prepared for the moment,
Yeah, and it feels like that, especially on the road, that's a regular thing. Like it happens consistent. We've been terrible on the road this year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, absolutely. We have not been good on the road. I don't know what their road record is, but
I think they have 2 wins.
2 wins?
Yeah.
I was trying to remember one, honestly, but what did we beat the
Jets was a road game, right?
Was it Jets in Vegas?
Was Vegas a road game? I think that is it. Yeah, see, that's basically no wins. Yeah. Let me look. I have the schedule right here. Because they won at Jets and they won at Vegas. That's the 2 road wins. Like they don't even count.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. They're like 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. But talking about some of the worst teams in the NFL, Mike, do you look at this Cowboys team as a playoff team?
I don't. I think they're typical. Like, it's funny because this always happens to Dak. Dak is good enough to where you won't get an under 500 team. Anytime he's healthy, the team's never under 500.
Yeah.
But he always gets blamed when the team's not good enough, even though it's like, no, what he's doing is taking a bad team and getting it above 500. But they make it like, oh, Dak can't get his team over the hump. And I'm like, no, if you gave him a great team, he'd get him to a championship level. If you give him a 500 team, which is basically what Jerry does, then he gets his quarterback play, same as Romo, gets him to the above 500 level.
Yeah, it's just, we've made this statement time and time again on the show, but just put him on like the Rams or the Niners or the Ravens or something, man,
Yeah, the Eagles just got away with a face mask, of course.
Or Philly even.
Yeah, any of those teams. It would be a no doubter.
That was so crazy after the Philly game where like those radio guys were talking about what would Dak look like in their offense compared to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, well, Jalen Hurts been horrible tonight. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like they get tape on him, like the adjustments they made, and then he's terrible the next year, and then Philly adjusts its offense. A big difference, though, is the team, like, Hurts is a good quarterback, but the team needs to have 2 great receivers, great tight end, great running game, great offensive line for him to really thrive. And they don't have the great offensive line this year, so they don't have as good a running game. And so he's not like Dak where if everything's great, I'm okay putting Jalen Hurts above Dak because his mobility, the stuff he could do, his conservativeness actually helps a great team because it's like, well, he's not going to hurt you. He'll make some plays with the legs. He won't hurt you. And I know people are going to say, yeah, but he's not as good a quarterback as Dak. Well, yes, but I'm saying if he has everything around him and Dak had everything around him, Dak still might make a few like, okay, I'm going to go for it here plays where he's not as conservative and he doesn't have the mobility. So maybe certain teams could run certain defenses to get him. But if you're talking about being on a team and you got to elevate people, that Dak Prescott is there's two tiers between him and Jalen Hurts. If you take one thing away from Jalen Hurts for a 5-game span, he'll have one game where he's really great, and then he'll have one where it's like, and then he'll have 2 bad ones. Whereas Dak will have 4 amazing games and then one where he's but because how the high level he plays, his game looks like a wow, what a bad game. But it's like an average game for Jalen Hurts, and that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of a good example is even against this Lions team where CeeDee Lamb goes out with a concussion and George Pickens hadn't had a good game. Ferguson hadn't really done much. Javonte hadn't done much, but Flournoy, you know what I mean? Like, look at the game that he had, dude.
Yeah, he finds ways to he throws a touchdown to Brevin Spann-Ford. He gets Flournoy over 100 yards. Like, Dak can do that, man. Cedric Wilson, the shell of Randall Cobb. And I know Randall Cobb was known, but look at his 2 years before and his year after Dak. And you could see, that he wasn't that dude. Amari Cooper got better, and he was great, but he got better. CeeDee Lamb developed under him. Dalton Schultz, Ferguson, Flournoy. Like, I get it. He's not elite. He hasn't gotten a chance to make that playoff run.
Yeah.
But man, he's a really good quarterback. One of the best in the league right now.
To bring it all the way back, do I think this team is a playoff team? I think that they could win a playoff game, man. I just, if you put them up against the Rams or the Lions, it's like, it's over, I think. Even now, with the Packers kind of looking like maybe they figured out their offense, it's over now. And I thought a couple weeks ago, though, I thought maybe we could beat the Packers.
Yeah, I wanted to see them on the road. You could look all over my social media. I told everybody, I don't care about the 21 points down to Philly. That's great, but it was at home against Philly, and Dak kills them, especially at home. So even with a comeback, really, that game, they should have blown Philly out. They allowed Philly to be in that game. Like, if you go back and rewatch, Philly was not that great, and then they beat Kansas City. But my question was that really about Dallas or was that about Kansas City? And if you watch them versus the Texans and you watch us in Detroit, I think that was more about Kansas City than it was about us. And so we went in Detroit and we did the same thing we always do. So, I got to call it as it is. I don't see us, even if we were to miracle get in, winning the last 4 and Philly fell apart. They look terrible again tonight. I don't see us doing anything.
Yeah, to your point about Kansas City, it's, Mahomes has, 4 touchdown passes against us, and he can't do anything against the Texans, man.
Yeah. Yep.
The Texans defense is crazy, dude.
It's nasty. They could make the Super Bowl if C.J. Stroud could play as well as Jalen Hurts. Like, you give them Jalen Hurts level of play, and you could see them in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I was watching a little short, Mina Kimes posted a clip of her talking to somebody, I forget what his name is, and they were just talking about the Houston Texans defense and how it has no weaknesses. She's right, man.
Yeah, great pass rush, great linebacker play. Stingley's incredible. Petrie's incredible. They got dudes everywhere. Give me a safety like Petrie, please. That's what I need on Dallas.
And I remember when I was doing all those mock drafts and Petrie, I kept drafting into the Cowboys. I'm like, God, if only there's a way this guy can follow us, dude.
Petrie is really good. Let's get a safety this draft. One of the first round picks, give me a safety. Edge, linebacker, offensive tackle, whatever you want to do with the other one is fine. Just get me a big time safety or go pay for one. I'm good. Pay for Fitz. Go pay for a guy. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I might propose a question note on the show sheet later on here talking about that, but we'll see. Who deserves the most blame for this loss, do you think, Mike?
Coaching.
Yeah,
Coaches, conservative offense. The defense, for some reason, stopped blitzing and pressuring. It was working early, and then they just didn't do it. So special teams kickoff coverage was atrocious. Why didn't you stop kicking off? Just kick it out of bounds. If you're giving up 40-yard runs every time, just kick it out of bounds. But the coaching was definitely the number one issue with that game.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. It's crazy how conservative Shoddy can be sometimes, man. It makes no sense.
Every road game, they start conservative. They just do. And I get like you're scared of the offensive line and stuff, but eventually you got to go anytime. If we're not playing Vegas or the Jets, like we're not competitive in these games. And I know Dak got it to 3 points in the fourth. It was competitive, but I'm talking about overall, like they lost by 14. They got killed by Denver. They got killed by the Bears. Like other than week 1 against Philly, the good teams wipe them out on the road.
Indeed, they do. Was the inability to stop the run or make stops on third down a bigger factor in this game?
Run defense. Actually, on third down, Detroit only went 3 for 8. So they didn't have a lot of third downs. They kept getting first downs early. Yeah. So 3 for 8's not terrible. I'll live with that.
Yeah.
But the running backs, the top 2 were 18 rushes, 103 yards, 4 touchdowns for the top 2, Gibbs and David Montgomery. So, you're that's not good enough. Especially with our D line, what it's supposed to be now.
Yeah.
That needs to be better.
Yeah, that was surprising, our run defense being so bad. I guess what stuck out to me was just that one big third down conversion to Jameson Williams. It was like 3rd and 6, and it was still a 3-point game at that point, and we couldn't get it. And I was like, man, it seems like all the third down conversions that they did give up were just almost like backbreakers every time.
Yeah, and then Mahomes was 4th down, Kansas City. They just can't find a way to get off the field. That's one of their problems.
Kind of curious to see what the plan will be with Eberflus and stuff the coming season.
Here's the thing about it: the special teams guys getting fired, they're terrible, and you could literally see the difference between him and Fossil a year before. Eberflus has a track record of getting better in year 2 by a big leap and then a small leap in year 3. And Jerry Jones already talked about wanting continuity.
Yeah.
So as much as I personally hate it, I would rather them do. I don't care about the coordinator year to year. Do it. That don't bother me any. Imagine you had a great one and he got hired as a head coach. You didn't have a choice. You would have to get a new one anyway. So pretend that happened. And just go get yourself a new one. But the likelihood is we're stuck with Eberflus.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of just with this team, like these younger guys, maybe bringing him back for one more year, especially with just the small sample size we saw with the difference making of Quentin Williams and Overshown, like what we could do if we continue to like get some pieces that are better suited for his defense.
You need people that can direct that defense. If you're going to have a defense kind of that bland, you need a middle linebacker and a safety that can control everything behind that D line. So, we'll see if they can get that. Yeah.
Well, just also propose the question, why on earth is Kenneth Murray of all people like the green dot guy,
Yeah, he's bad. I don't. That's the one I don't understand. Like Shoddy's been able to say, "Hey, Mozzie, you're inactive. I don't care if you're a 1st-round pick." Maybe just the practice or the calls of Logan Wilson and Maris Leafau and them are so bad that they're just like, we're petrified to have them out there for 40 plays or whatever. But Murray's so bad. I just can't imagine it being worse. Murray's so
That's what I'm
horrible.
saying, dude. Like, to think that they're worse than Kenneth Murray is really scary.
Yeah. Bad.
A big talking point from this game is the lack of effort, or so it looked like from George Pickens. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so here's the thing. Were there routes and stuff where he had a lack of effort? Yes. But if you watch the all 22, he runs routes like that all the time. Like it's not a new thing. It's that's what he did in Pittsburgh, and he's done this whole time he was dominating in Dallas. He did the same stuff. He sometimes goes in slow motion on routes. I don't know if he's setting people up or what, but it's because we lost and he didn't have a good game that everybody's like, oh, look, it's one of those games. It's no different than he had any other game. The funny thing is people, say how he should have caught the double move. When you watch the all 22, he was going all out. He lost the ball. He couldn't find the ball going after he made his move and everything. He ran hard the whole route. He just couldn't find the ball after turning. He couldn't find it. So he didn't. That's why he didn't go all out for it. He never saw where it was in time.
Yeah. I know that was one play. It's like, man, the ball looks like it's right there. Like he catches that ball like 9 times out of 10. What happened there? It almost looks like he didn't even go for it, but that makes sense because I don't watch the L22, so I like knowing that because one play that I guess struck out or kind of got my attention was I guess it was like a slant route where he kind of ran it lazily, and instead of having put himself in a better position to catch it, it was like he was so flat on it that the defender was just so easily able to knock it away.
Yeah, typically, I think a lot of that game was due to how they played him, which we'll talk about later. But I think that kind of a lot of times some receivers, if they're like, okay, I know nothing's happening here, they'll kind of conserve themselves, and that's a lot. AJ Brown, a lot of big name receivers. Randy Moss used to do it all the time. The top end elite of the elite receivers, guys like that do the same thing if they feel like, okay, I'm just here basically taking away coverages pretty much.
Almost like a decoy type thing.
Yeah.
What stood out to you most about this loss?
How similar it was to Dak road losses. I mean, it's the same. It felt the same. I know I talked about it. It's a theme. See if this field goal goes in. It does. Eagles got a field goal. It's 9-13 Chargers. So conservative offense, bad defense. Offense picks up late, not enough to come back because the defense can't get any stops. And then offense kind of flounders a little with it, even in the second half with a big penalty or a big turnover, setting them back enough to where they're not able to fully come back. It was just so similar to Garrett and McCarthy big game road losses.
Yeah. It is eerily similar, man. It's just it almost feels like I don't know if Groundhog Day would be the right thing, but it's like every time in a big game, whether it be the playoffs or just a game that needs to be won, it's always the same thing every single year, regardless of the coach. And Dak is always the one getting the blame. But you look at things outside of Dak, and it's like, well, you look at Dak's numbers, it's like, man, this guy was really doing something. But it's the coach being conservative or the defense playing bad, like you said earlier. It's weird.
Yeah, there's stuff that you could definitely put on Dak. Now, I don't know how much you could put on him this last game. Like even the 2 interceptions where one was pulled out of the guy's hands, the other one bounced directly off his hands. But there's been games, the Green Bay game, he threw a pick six. And I know it was 21-0. The defense is definitely more to blame. I'm saying that Dak did have some blame too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know how much of this one, Dak was pretty decent. He didn't hurt the team. I think that was more Schottenheimer than Dak in these. Whereas in other ones, you could blame a lot of things. The offensive line, the play calling, Dak made mistakes. This one was more the play calling. It was a lot of how conservative they were.
Yeah. And, this doesn't only happen to Dak, but it's always George Pickens doesn't do much, or Javonte Williams doesn't do much. Ferguson doesn't do much. Key pieces in the offense are just kind of disappear along with Dak also not having his greatest game either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you want to see from this team for the rest of the season, knowing that our playoff chances are pretty much non-existent and the season is essentially over?
I want them to win and just see what happens. Maybe Eagles are falling apart. They look
Yeah.
bad today. They only got 3 field goals, 3 first half turnovers. Like they don't look great. They lose this one. You're 2 games back. They still got to play Commanders twice, Buffalo.
Hmm.
Just win your game. See what happens. See, I want Dak to be able to make the playoffs this year if possible. The way he's playing, and see how the cards fall.
Yeah, I'd like to see some resilience from this team. That was one thing Garrett always kind of preached, is like just never giving up on a season. Of course, the Cowboys never tank. This front office won't allow them to tank, but it would be nice to know that to see them kind of have that motto where even though our playoff hopes are pretty slim, we're still going to finish this fight.
Agreed. I agree. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. So here we are with Mike's views from the sidelines. What did Detroit do defensively to limit Pickens offensively, Mike?
They doubled him all game. And they doubled him like, we're pressing you with one guy and the safeties, we're taking you away, which is why Lamb had like 7 for 100 in the first half. And then Flournoy came in and he had 100 yards and a touchdown and everything, because Detroit was like, you're not winning with Pickens. Find another way to win.
Yeah.
That was their game plan. And so that's a lot of the reason that that Pickens was like, seemed in and out, is because he was like, okay, I know I'm not getting the ball here. I'm getting doubled. So I'm just setting somebody else up. So you kind of like go through the motion sometimes, so but that's what they did. They said, we're going to take you away.
What was it about Detroit's rushing attack that gave Dallas defense so many issues?
Horrendous tackling was one thing. Bad angles. I mean, you've seen he made
Montgomery run play was wow.
Yeah, just terrible. And poor linebacker play, which go hand in hand, but I don't want to put all the tackling on the linebackers. The corners didn't tackle, safeties didn't tackle. It was bad. But their linebackers are poor. Kenneth Murray is bad. Maris Leafau is bad. Overshown right now, coming back from an injury, is solid, but he's not great right now, And so Shamar James is not a good rookie. He's good for a rookie, especially a rookie day 3 pick, but he's not a good player, So it's linebacker play is really hurting Dallas.
It hurts that Leafau is so bad, dude.
It does.
This year, man.
He's not that type of linebacker. The system you're in now is not conducive to what Maris Leafau does well.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that he would be somebody who is like a good tackler. It's just weird that he misses so many tackles. It doesn't make sense.
It's because he goes so hardcore that he overplays it sometimes.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert just getting killed out there.
I was kind of surprised that he was going to play tonight, but I thought he might when it was announced that he was going to have surgery, especially on his non-throwing hand. I didn't think that he was going to miss the game, but it didn't seem like this is really a must-win game for the Chargers either.
He's just a tough dude. I like Justin Herbert. I think he's a good dude.
Yeah, I like that he's kind of having a bounce-back season then.
Yeah, me too. I hate the narrative that he's not better than Dak Prescott. I mean, you can watch them both play. He has more potential, but people make it like, okay, well, what's wrong with Dak? Well, Dak has no playoff success. Okay. Justin Herbert? So you're putting Herbert above him? How? Dak's been in an MVP race. He's a top 3-4 MVP candidate this year on a team that's 500. With atrocious defense and bad special team coverage teams, and he's carrying them to a 500 record, and Herbert's like, I just can't put him up there quite there. Same tier, but I want Dak put ahead just on what he's done.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I kind of wish, we've already answered this question one word, the Cowboys not being prepared in the biggest game of the season, blank. I feel like we've talked about that a lot tonight. So I wish it was something different, but we will stick with it. So, Mike, the Cowboys not being prepared in the biggest game of the season is blank.
Typical.
That's the word, exact word I was going with too.
Yeah, see, that one
Yeah,
was that one was an easy one.
that's a layup right there, my friend.
Yes, but it gets the point across.
It
There's a reason
does.
we both had the same word.
Yeah, once you've been a Cowboys fan for as long as we have, dude, you've seen this, you've danced to this song before, man.
Yes, the funniest thing is I saw a video of LaShawn McCoy like, can't blame Jerry on this one. 31 years of failure, and I was like,
Oh my god, dude.
how do you follow? You can't blame Jerry with 31 years of failure. I'm like, well, who else would it be? There's only one guy here.
For real. I mean, he's the one who's been here the longest, and nothing's changed. So who do you win?
Yes, he is the issue.
He might be the worst, like of the player turned analyst. LaShawn McCoy might be the worst.
There's a reason he don't have a job no more. He was their whole show was Dallas, and I think Dallas fans are starting to get Cowboys fatigue. Like even Dallas fans are like tired of like, I don't even want to see us on TV. I get it. Yep, same old narrative. It's the same thing we've heard for 10 years. No matter what they do, they blame it on Dak or the QB, and it's like tiring. So and that's why a place like that doesn't keep its show, because their whole show was built on. They had Hellman there, who was there because he was a Cowboys guy. They had LaShawn McCoy there because they'll say Dak's ass. Ocho was a Philadelphia Eagle. That was their whole show was based on, we're eventually going to talk about Dallas.
That's what gets the ratings, man. Shout out to Jerry for that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we are with top five. Top five tonight is going to be sports celebrations, and it can be, is it the bat flip after a big home run? Is it the maybe the dirty bird of Jamal Anderson with the Atlanta Falcons? Is it the Tiger Woods fist bump after a big putt? It could be all sorts of things. I wanted to ask you, Mike, on the text, but I ran out of time. Do you consider the wave to be a sports celebration? The wave
No,
in
because that
baseball.
goes on. That goes on when you're losing sometimes.
Yeah, that's just kind of like to get the crowd involved. But I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say a wave is a sports celebration. Is like, this happens after a score. That's what I think of the sports celebration.
Yeah. One cool, man, something that just dawned on me that, not that I've ever experienced it, but I've always, found out kind of a cool one was after somebody scores a hat trick, in hockey, everybody throws their hats on the rink. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or the
That is
octopus.
a good one.
Before, kind of giving a sneak peek into your list, like as far as like a wrestling one, what would be, I know that they have like those little gestures or moves that they do before like a big like finishing move, but are there like celebrations in wrestling?
There are, but a lot of it's called signature moves. So you can't see me.
Okay.
Or McIntyre, before he does his finisher, will go 3, 2, 1. CM Punk, before his finisher, go to sleep. Shawn Michaels will hit the ground with his foot. That's the switch in music. Undertaker, before the tombstone. So typically it's not after. It's to get the crowd, to let the crowd know the finisher's coming.
What's coming. Yeah, I got you. But so do you consider that a celebration? Or is that a setup?
Yeah, I'd say that's a setup. I would say
that's a setup.
There's a few celebrations like Undertaker's after he would win at WrestleMania, he would do where he's on one knee and that's kind of a celebration. But no, they're more signature moves than celebrations.
Got you. That's kind of what I was thinking too. But enough talking, Mike. Number 5 on your list of sports celebrations, sir.
The Bash Brothers Monster Bash. If Mark McGuire or Jose Canseco hit a home run, they would give each other the forearm bash. That would be my number 5.
What a weird franchise the Oakland Athletics were, man.
It's wild that they got so cheap. Like,
I know, it's insane, dude. I don't understand why.
If they would have let what is his name? Brad Pitt. If they would have let Brad Pitt's character, I I can't remember his name, Bobby Bell, something. But if they would have let him have a little bit of money with the way he was, like, analytically picking up people, he
Yeah.
could have got one or two like over the top guys, but they never let him. What was
Yeah,
his
man,
name?
it's crazy. And I mean, they'd won a World Series before. They had some like, Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire were
Dennis
basically like,
Eckersley.
what's that?
Dennis Eckersley, one of the greatest closers of all time.
I mean, they had some guys who like had some superstar potential, but they became something after leaving there.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy.
Number 5 for me, I'm gonna go. This one is kind of a recent one, but I like the too small gesture in the NBA after like a big dunk or something. You do the little. I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
That's
that is a good
the
one.
one. I do like that. Number 4 on my list. So this is going to be really old, Mike. I'm sure you remember this, but the Brandy Chastain of Team USA, the jersey rip after kicking the game-winning penalty kick in for Team USA.
I thought about putting that one on, but
Yeah.
what I did is I made my list continual celebrations instead of one-offs.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise,
Okay.
I think that one would have made it for me too. That's such an iconic one.
The reason I had it on there, just like this is going to be the theme with my list, is I actually got to see that live. Actually happened. So like that's always in my brain. Like that was such a historical sport moment, especially for Team USA. It's like how you can never forget that type of thing.
Yeah, that's an all-time one.
Number 4 on your list, sir.
Tiger Woods fist bump, as you talked about, like it's such an icon,
With the red
possibly the
shirt.
greatest golfer of all time. Him or Nicholson, obviously. And when you would see that fist pump, you knew it was like it could be demoralizing to opponents.
Yeah. Crazy, like what he was off the course.
Yeah,
You never would have
just
guessed that in a million years, dude.
Steel Panther, just like Tiger Woods. One of the best songs of all time. It's like a parody. They're like a parody rock group, but
Yeah.
they're really good. So the guy has they could have been an elite, like he has a great voice, they have a great sound, but it's a comedy thing. And they do a song called Just Like Tiger Woods. If you want to listen to it, it's hilarious. It's basically it's saying like, well, you may not be able to be him as a golfer, but you could be what he was off the course.
That's great. I'm definitely going to check that out immediately after the show.
It's
Mike,
so
number 3
good.
on your list, sir.
Oh, Saquon Barkley just broke a run for a touchdown.
Oh, I'll take that for fantasy. I'll tell you that.
No. Number 3 is the Deion Sanders high step.
Oh man, of
that
course.
has to
Talk
be
about
on there.
iconic, dude.
Yeah, that one. That one almost got to number 2 because he was like one of my favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no, iconic wise, I think I like my top one is a me one, and then my second one's like my favorite, like that everybody would know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I put the high step third.
If you played football in the 90s, guarantee you're going to see the Deion high step at least one time.
Yes. Yep.
Number 3 on my list, I went with the Randy Moss mooning of the Green Bay Packers fans in the playoffs. Again,
Great
one I
one.
saw live. Like, so crazy when actually seeing him that happen. I'm like, oh my God, did this actually just happen?
That was a great one. Yeah, miming the mooning them.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
He should have
so
just
good.
went ass cheeks out, bro. Just go
Oh
all the
my
way with
God.
it.
That would be legendary. Already legendary, but that would have been like, dare I say, I don't know. Yeah, I think even the miming of it is still kind of iconic, honestly.
It is. That's a great one.
Number 2 on my list, this is the Texas Rangers antler celebration. Excuse me. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but like during their 2010 World Series run, after like a big hit or anything, they'd get on base and like they would start doing this.
I vaguely remember that. I wasn't really watching baseball anymore at the time Texas had won.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember a little of that. Yes.
It was just nice because, man, as a lifetime Rangers fans, for them to like finally make it to the big game, like have that historical run and stuff, it was cool that they added that little thing to, just
That's how I
fun
knew.
to the game.
it was all over my Twitter feed because even though I'm in California, I get mostly Texas, Mavs, Rangers. I get that stuff because I Dallas Cowboys. All the people that follow me basically are Dallas area. In that area,
Right.
those teams.
Yeah, it was a fun time, man. It sucks though that we lost to the Giants. I believe we got swept by the Giants, and then heartbreaking fashion, losing to the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 7, man. Back-to-back years.
Didn't you guys win a
Yeah, we
Texas?
won 2023. We beat the Arizona Diamondbacks, or not the Diamond. Yeah, the Diamondbacks. Got to go through the pain to appreciate the pleasure, right, Mike?
Tell Dallas fans, Jesus.
Man, don't got to remind me, sir. With Cowboys and the Mavericks, it looks like number 2 on your list, sir.
The Dikembe Mutombo finger wag.
See, that almost made mine, dude, because I loved it when I was a kid, man. Every time I blocked a shot on the court,
I just feel like that's the most legendary, like when you know what that is, like as far as that goes. So I had to put that on my list, and I always loved it. I liked Dikembe Mutombo. I'm a big fan of his.
I loved him when he was on the Sixers with Iverson, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wild how underrated. Like he's probably the best. Hakeem Olajuwon, but Dikembe Mutombo is in tier 1 of defenders all time.
No doubt about it. No question about that. I almost had I know this isn't a celebration, but for a minute I thought it was, but I almost had the Allen Iverson step over to Ron Lee, but I'm like, that's not a celebration. That's just like an iconic sports moment.
It's an iconic moment. Yeah.
Yeah, you celebrate.
That's the only loss that Lakers team had in that playoff run. And it wasn't, they're the only team to never lose one in regulation because they lost. It was an overtime game. But if they would have won that, they would have swept the entire playoffs. Crazy.
What a different NBA that was.
Yeah. Shaq and Kobe were tough to deal with, man. And Phil Jackson, that's rough. That's really tough.
And then Mr. Robert Horry, Mr. Sharpshooter.
Yeah. No, they had dudes. Their side dudes were really good. Rick Fox.
Yeah. The soap opera himself.
Yes. Yep. It's crazy.
Crazy to think he was an actor and also a baller.
Yeah. Yep. And he could play, man. He was a good defender, hit shots. He could play.
Excellent role player.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe we'll have to do our top 5 role players at some point.
I would definitely do that. That would be
that'd be fun. That really would. All right, so number 1 on your list.
The playmaker, when he would get the ball and spin it and slice it, boom, and spike it down. That's my favorite of all time because that's my favorite football player ever.
Yes, sir. Number 1 on my list, you probably could have guessed it, Mike, is the Deion high step. Come on.
Oh yeah. I had that third. Great one. Have to have it. If you don't have that one on there, you're messing up your celebrations.
I wonder if Brendan would have had it on his because he wasn't, born. I'm sure he knows what it is, but I don't know if he'd have it on his list.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what the icky shuffle. His would be like the Curry sleep, night, which is CM Punk's, by the way.
Did he steal up from CM Punk real quick?
Yeah, of course. CM Punk's been doing that 20 plus years. He's been doing that for 30 years. He's been doing the.
He's that old, CM Punk is?
Yeah, CM Punk's old. Shit, he left wrestling for 10 years. And then he would probably have LeBron's, the too small. He would have the too small. He would have like 5 like that happened in the last 8 years.
Hey, at least he'd keep it real because he happily admits that he has not been watching sports that long.
Yes, he is. Oh man, I can't believe Herbert got away from that.
Well, Mike, sir, it was unfortunately the topic of discussion wasn't that great, but it's always great to have you back, man.
And look at us, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Now we know it's all Brendan's fault.
Yeah, it usually is, so we'll blame it on him.
Yeah, he's young. He could last.
Those YNs, man.
Us old people, we know. We're trying to get this over with.
Brendan, we blame you. Well, Mike, as always, man, I enjoyed the discussion. Before we get you out of here, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy. You know the drill.
I am Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we will see you guys next week.
I wonder if they're going to punt right here.